The opinions expressed in the following video are based on my experience playing through the main storyline of the game, going back to re-record footage, and any reviews I either read or watched online. If there is anything you disagree with or any new information you think I might find interesting, please leave a comment down below. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy. I view game reviews like argumentative essays. The reviewer has a message they would like to get across, and they support that with various evidence and opinions to try and sway the reader to their way of thinking. What I plan to do is to review the reviews. Rather than just present my own review straight away, I'm going to first look at some of the more popular opinions that crop up in other reviews that I disagree with, and illustrate why before trying to put my own ideas forward. For my first review, we will be looking at Mighty No.9, a game that has gotten a lot of spotlight for not a lot of the right reasons. For those who have managed to avoid information on it, Mighty No.9 was supposed to be the spiritual successor to the currently MIA Mega Man. Now, while there's a lot to talk about outside of the scope of the game, such as changes from the original concepts, a messy release, and infinite quotes, I'm going to go into pretty much none of that. I'm going to do my best to focus on comments regarding the actual game itself, rather than all the drama around it. Currently, opinions of the game seem to range from horrible at worst to okay at best. The complaints I see pop up most are regarding poor visuals, failures to capture the spirit of a Mega Man game, poor level design, and power-ups that just are not very fun overall. For the most part, I don't disagree with any of these points, at least not entirely. Visually, the game is a bit lacking. While not being downright terrible to look at, it is extremely dated and only feels nice in small places throughout. With the other 3 points though, I do find a few flaws. I'm going to start with the biggest complaint, and the one that kind of just covers all the rest. The game doesn't have that Mega Man spirit to it. And this is true, it doesn't. But is that a bad thing? I mean, if you're a backer, yes, you probably wanted a Mega Man game, so the fact that it doesn't feel like one is a bit of a disappointment. But is that an actual measure if the game is good or bad? The game could have easily felt like a Mega Man game and still been bad, or it could have not felt like one and had its own spirit entirely and still been good. So saying that it doesn't have that Mega Man spirit just doesn't feel like anything you could actually measure to say this makes it bad. Additionally, what is the Mega Man spirit? Think about it for just a moment. It is a bit hard to define if you think about it. On paper, Mighty No.9 has most of what Mega Man has. You beat bosses to get new powers, there's platforming, shooting. In the end, the spirit really just comes down to a feeling. The feeling you get when you play a Mega Man game. And the funny thing about that is everyone's going to feel slightly different. Your Mega Man spirit is probably different from mine, if only minorly. But if the game was lacking that minor piece for you, you would notice, and I wouldn't. And then, maybe having its own spirit would have been more important than trying to capture the Mega Man spirit. The second point is all about level design. Again, I don't disagree that the levels could have used a bit more work. My issue is that none of the articles or reviews I saw really delve into why they're bad. They either just state it and then gloss over it, or just repeat that it's bad without ever really highlighting why. I believe the levels are bad due to a disconnect between the stages and the game's mechanics themselves. Beyond that, there are also a few questionable choices. I'm looking at excessively precise dash paths and poorly telegraphed death hazards, just to name a few. I mean, look at this. It looks like if I get hit here, I'll just take some knockback and an owie, and that'll be the end of it. No, you're dead. Just flat out dead. Since relatively early on, the dash mechanic of Mighty No.9 has served as a highlight for the game. It serves as both a mobility tool and a means to finish off weakened enemies. It's a fun addition that I enjoy. It brings the speed of the game up to more Mega Man X levels than Mega Man. But that's part of where the problem comes in. Most of the stages are designed more like a Mega Man game. They're relatively straightforward and small, with not a whole lot of enemies. The dash is just underutilized. There's very few points where you have to use it to get through. While the dash does shine through in a few places, like the boss fights, and it feels great when that does happen, it mostly just goes to waste. You use it primarily just to get around the stages quicker than you could on your own 2 feet. It's extremely wasted potential that really could have elevated the game if the focus was on the dash mechanic and difficulty there, rather than just a combo system that is only moderately enjoyable at best. And the last major complaint I've heard is regarding the weapons. Again, I don't disagree. During my play, I primarily used 3 of the weapons aside from the standard blaster. But isn't that true of most Mega Man games? I recall some real stinkers that, while technically useful at one point or another throughout the game, I never really used. I would find 2 or 3 that suited my purposes and just stick with those. Same is true of Mighty 9. All the weapons do have at least one boss they are technically most effective against, but I would often ignore that and just go with what I could work with, what I enjoyed using. And even throughout the stages, there are multiple parts where you could use another weapon to get through, but it's mostly relatively unneeded. But again, that's mostly true with old Mega Man games too. You could easily get through with just your blaster on most stages, so I don't really give this complaint much weight. The biggest failure of Mighty No.9 isn't its lack of Mega Man spirit. It's not the weapons, and it's not the visuals. Yeah, those are all problems, but the biggest issue is the game doesn't really know what it wants to be. It tries to be both a platforming shooter and a speedy, combo, score-driven machine, and it never really shines at either. In the end, it's an okay game. I enjoyed my playthrough with it. I feel I got my backer money out of it. Will I go back and play it again? Probably not anytime soon. It is a more than playable experience that provides some decent fun, but I just don't find the replayability in it. The wasted potential, it's just too much. But that's the one shining point. It does have potential. That initial premise, I feel, is a good one. It's just, it was poorly executed. If, and it's a big if at this point, a sequel ever got made, I would hope they would learn from their mistakes on this, because I feel the core mechanics could be used to make a really fun and enjoyable experience that, well, not Mega Man, could be its own enjoyable IP. But overall, my review of the reviews shows they aren't wrong. They're just focusing on the wrong reasons. Thank you all for watching. This was my first attempt at a scripted video. They are not as easy as I thought they would be. I messed up a lot of times that you will not get to see because I am embarrassed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a comment and name some games you'd like to see me do reviews of. Or if you want to just disagree with me, go ahead and leave those too. Maybe I'll reply if you're a nice guy about it. Alright, again, thank you for watching, and as always, shine on.